Hi, performers and achievers. Welcome to Performers and Achievers Daily with me, Raj Gavurla. And today's episode is about the process of your routines and habits of excellence goals over outcomes. Or I can simplify that and say most everyone, at least I do, they want to win, they like to win, they love to win, they desire to win. Doesn't matter what it's in. However, putting all the everything you have into that win is just going to wear you out because there's no strategy there. And what strategy can sort of be simplified to is routines and habits of excellence. And all of that can be simplified to is a process or your process. And so as you do your process, routines, and habits of excellence goals, then the outcomes, like the wins, come to you. And sometimes you do go after it as well. However, both really occur. So, what are some examples? Well, have you ever been injured and put on some weight, tried to put on a pair of pants, and they're not as fitting anymore? Like they're hard to get in. And you can visualize, and I suggest or recommend you do visualize you being able to fit in those pants. That's a win, small win. You can visualize that. However, it's just like you every day weighing yourself on the scale, and not much going to happen by doing that. You're hyper alert to something that's just on your mind instead of being and working on your routines and habits of excellence goals in that process. So, for example, for a pair of pants, well, one thing probably do is set them aside from the pair of pants that can fit you comfortably. Next thing is to just look at how to recover from the injury and what can you do while you're injured as far as exercise, eating right, all of that shouldn't go away. And then you'll slowly see as that occurs that now those pants fit you. And it's a process. Now, that doesn't mean that it's got to take a long, long, long time. There are some processes that aren't that long. However, the key is that you have routines and habits of excellence goals. So if you remember one of my previous episodes, I talked about your goals for your family, one of them to be accomplished today, one work goal or business goal to be accomplished today, and your one exercise or sports goal to be accomplished today. So to make all those happen, there are routines and habits of excellence, which is basically what I started off with, and that's process over outcomes. And as you stack those days, those small wins daily, small wins, small wins, small win, all throughout today, I had small wins. Not big wins, they're small wins. And as I do that, then everything mentally, physically, feeling is aligned. Like there's a natural sense of peacefulness, calmness, confidence in your routines and habits of excellence. And the way you continue to have that is one, remove something to make it easier, and two, implement a breakthrough in learning to make it easier. See, some of you have it, and I get it to some extent. And I know what people mean by it, right? You always look and see what the context is, etc. But for some of you, you're just looking at whatever it is that you got to do or thinking about or desire to do or some dream or priority or clear goal or something else in the distance and initiative. And you're already telling yourself, like, that's going to be so hard. You got to work hard, hard work, etc. And I'm not saying that that's not true. What I am saying, though, is if you, as you go about it, work smarter, not harder. There are times when that's needed. And yes, there are times when you grind. There are those times also. However, that's what this episode's about. Is whatever those outcomes you desire or shooting for or objective or initiative of yours or accomplishment or achievement you have in mind, well, this is the way that it's done. And when you do it this way, what happens? The stress is less, the anxiety is less, the anxiousness is less, the exhaustion is less. All the things, sleep, you sleep good. And that's what performers and achievers have learned, and they continue to learn, is that by approaching it this way, that's what makes it possible, because the other way is not sustainable. You can't always be on the go, 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 go. It's not sustainable. And additionally, you can't always be, there's no interest, there's uh, nothing to do, or you're fatigued or tired or something else has occurred. And that also is not something that's optimal. So keep in mind, your process over outcomes. Focus and hone in on your process, your routines and habits of excellent goals. Those outcomes, those small wins, eventually will get you to the outcome, whatever that outcome may be. And sometimes that outcome is greater than what you envisioned it to be. And sometimes it's not. Those are the uncontrollables. There's uncertainty involved. And that's reality. So that's what I have for you today. If you like my podcast, like it. For those of you who are interested in private, personal, professional, confidential services and programs with me, visit my website, rajgavurla.com, fill out the brief form, and we will contact you as soon as we can. Enjoy your day.